trick. I came to the party. I laughed at the jokes you made. I wish that I had.
Hi, how you doing? How you be? Top to the AB, and I am so sorry. Apparently my filtered water takes forever to pour. Hope everybody had a good day at work. Hope everybody had a good day at school and or other. My name is Anthony, or TheOpenForum. And we will be right back as soon as I tell you what the topics are today, which is, I clicked on the wrong screen. It is Diablo 4 Nightmare Dungeons, as well as what is the dumbest thing you've ever done, and another open beta for Diablo 4 right after this. Hi, I'm Anthony, and if you are new here, consider subscribing. We actually troubleshoot and help people with their technical issues and PC gaming issues, and subscribing will help us grow the channel and help more people. Thanks. Okay, alrighty, I am ready. I am here. I am ready. Let's do this. Let's help some people. Okay, so very interesting last few days. One, if any of you are Disney fans, Disney just actually launched their annual passes back again. So it's actually been gone for like 2 to 3 years. So I was actually in queue for like the past 3 hours waiting to get the annual pass. So that's just another thing in my life. Just want to make sure that I get the old Mickey Mouse ears. But without further ado, let's get things started here. So Diablo. So if we switch it out here. So there are a few things I did want to talk about. So one, there will be another open beta for Diablo 4. And that is going to be May 12th through the 14th as a server slam. So they basically want you to destroy the servers and see exactly how that goes. I think it'll be pretty good. I think they are actually also going to include a lot of the updates that they were talking about, particularly for the barbarian class as well as the druid, because they were both trash. And we'll see come on and slam and welcome to the jam. Yeah, so I would actually probably play this one. I'm not sure if the level cap is still the same, I'm not sure how long I'd play, but you know, because you kind of, Diablo 4 is one of those games. It's not Path of Exile, right, where there's continuous seasons, and in the season there's something new every single time. Diablo 4 is one of those ones you get kind of tired of playing over and over and over again. You know what I mean? You just kind of want to get to the max level and just be done with it, kind of like WoW and game of its ilk. It's kind of like you just want to get to the end. So I'm not really too crazy on playing that 1 through 25 again, but I may, just to see what the other classes hold, because I only played the barbarian last time. Alrighty. And this one here, which I thought was kind of cool. Oh, game for today. I actually have just started setting up my other games. So today we are going to be looking at Path of Exile. Or that's not Path of Exile. That is, hold on, that's the wrong game. Give me 1 second here. How you gonna switch to Overwatch? Like, what did I ever do to you? Oh, that's right. I didn't name it. That's why I did that. Okay. I think I called it PoE. Where did it go? Give me 1 second. Oh, that's because, is it because of that? No, it's literally called PoE. And hold on 1 second here. Work live and stream. That's right. Let's see here. Yeah, no, that's right. It just doesn't see it. Ah, I see what's happening here. Alrighty, give me 1 second here. I gotta close this out and then reopen it, because apparently it doesn't see the update that I made. No, not that. Stream Deck. Give me 1 second here. I cloned it from Overwatch, hence why it had it, but it's not Overwatch. It's PoE. There we go. Okay. Path of Exile. There we go. So today's game will be Path of Exile. I'm not great at the game. I'll just go ahead and say that right now. I don't play it enough to be great. Basically, what happened was I ran into this boss called Cirrus, and you only get six tries at him, and then, at least back in the day, you only got 6 tries at him, and then you had to go ahead and, so basically in order to get to him, it takes hours and hours and hours, right? You gotta find all of these warlords, you gotta beat them up several times or whatever in order to get orbs, but there's 4 warlords and you gotta do it over and over and over again. It takes freaking forever. It takes hours and hours and hours to get to them, but you only get 6 tries at them. And so the first time I played Path of Exile, I had 6 tries at him. I watched all the YouTube guys just to make sure I was doing everything right. I didn't know if my build would hold up or anything like that, but I figured I'd go ahead and give it a shot, right? So he tore me up. Sometimes I've got to like 25%, sometimes I got to 35%. Either way, I still died, right? So I lost all 6, and as soon as I lost all 6 of my tries, I quit because I wasn't about to do that again, and it was annoying me that I had to do so much work because I just wanted to beat him, right? So I quit Path of Exile and then come back for like another 2 years. 2 years later, I come back and then I roll because, like, you know, they may have some type of new update, and this one here was Harvest. So they had the little Harvest is like a plant. I think that, I mean, you may see it here, but basically it's like a little plant, and you have to fight monsters that come out of the plant. So Harvest came back, and I was like, okay, cool, let me try to play for Harvest. So I played Harvest, but I played the exact same build because that's the only character I knew how to make. So I played in the Harvest, right? And I ended up doing the exact same thing, got back to the exact same boss, and he wiped the floor with me again. Then I quit. And it's been a long series of quitting every time I got to the series. Now, whenever you get to that boss, it's very easy to get to him. You can just get the map and go to him. So now it's a lot easier to actually fight him. So now I'm actually kind of trying to get back into it, but I'm still I'm not great at the game. So I'll just say it that way. I'm just not great at the game. So yeah, that is what I think of Path of Exile as of right now. But let's go ahead and go back to the videos. What's the dumbest thing you've bought? Well, let's see here, because there are a lot of things. Let me actually make sure chat is working here. Looks like it's good. Yes. Yes. Okay. So chat looks like it's working here. So the dumbest things you've ever bought, this could be a scam. Feel free, feel for marketing BS or just a joke purchase. The dumbest? I don't know. I feel like a lot of things in hindsight you feel are dumb, but they made really good sense when you made the purchase. So like, okay, me personally, I'm kind of into gacha games. So I used to play this game called New Online, and it was a true gacha game. It was very much so pay to win. Please don't look it up. It's not worth it. So it's a very much so pay to win game. And I was very good at the game because I played it since I was like 20, right? So I've been playing it for like 10 years. So, well, 10, 15 years. So I was very good at the game, and they had like these raids that we would do on the weekend. Think of it like Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing, where you kind of take a castle. And I used to play like a bunch of different characters, and I was very good at the game. But the game was very money centric. So I mean, you could spend hundreds of dollars on that game in like a few days. I mean, it's very easy to spend a ton of money. But the games and items that you bought kept their value, right? So at the end of the day, you know, after playing for 15 years, I cashed out, and I pretty much had, I would say about 60 to 65% of the money I spent, I was able to get back out. So it wasn't as death-defying as some of these newer gacha games where they take all your money, you get nothing back. I got most of my money back, so I wasn't really too upset about it, especially because I got all that time with that game. We're talking 10, 15 years, man. I played this game for a really long time. And so those kind of purchases really annoyed me, but then I went over to Genshin Impact, and then like I used to make purchases based on characters that I thought would fit my main character, which is Klee, because she used to be my main character. I'll show you guys who I am talking about. Klee is this little girl. Klee. So I was a Klee main for a really long time, and where'd she go? I said Klee. Why would you show? Here we go. There we go. She's in my outro. But I was a Klee main for a really long time, right? I love this character. She's terrible. She's not the strongest, but she was really good at the time when she first came out. So I used to try to buy characters to see if they would fit with her. So I would buy characters that made no sense, like a Diluc or something like that. I would spend a whole bunch of money trying to get these characters to see if they would fit with her. And I wasted so much money, and Genshin Impact has no way of you recouping any of your losses. You just spend the money and that's it. So I think that those, when I look back in hindsight, are some of the dumber purchases that I made, but I did enjoy myself. So I don't know. When you come from a game where you were able to get some of your money back and recoup some of your losses to a game where you recoup none of your losses, it makes you feel a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people probably have the same thing with Diablo Immortal, where you spend a whole lot of money in a game and you really can't recoup any of that. Those kind of situations that you put yourself in where you can't recoup any of the money that you spent makes you feel a certain type of way. It makes you feel very salty towards the game, regardless if you like it or not. It's just a kind of an annoying thing. And I feel the same way about Genshin. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Genshin Impact. I like playing the game. I like the characters that I paid for, but I feel kind of bad at how much I paid for the game and went straight whale. Now I'm kind of like a baby dolphin. I may not even be a dolphin at this point, because your characters can get to a certain point where nothing can beat them. Like literally nothing in the game can beat them. Nothing is hard, nothing is difficult, nothing is challenging, nothing even makes you sweat. Nothing hits you, nothing hurts you, nothing deals damage. You may die once, but that's about it. So there's just nothing challenging. There's nothing hard about it. It's more like Pokemon than anything. And let's just say my entire squad is level 100 and I'm in Pallet Town. You see what I'm saying? That's exactly what you feel like playing Genshin Impact, that all your characters are level 100 and you're in Pallet Town or Cerulean City and you are just like at the very early stages of Pokemon and everybody else is level 20 and you're level 100. One hit, they're dead. One hit, they're dead. One hit, they're dead. That's pretty much Genshin Impact. There's no challenge. They have an Abyss dungeon, which is oh, I see. Let me switch back here. No. I thought that was Overwatch. No, I think I changed it. Okay, whatever. All right. Well, in any event, so they have what's called an Abyss dungeon, and that guy, why is it doing that? That's kind of annoying. Okay, cool. And that guy was, I would say that that's probably like the Elite Four. But I mean, even the Elite Four will get smoked if your entire squad is level 100. You see what I'm saying? So that's pretty much the highest it goes, is Elite Four. So I've never been the type to really kind of get into Genshin Impact the way others get into Genshin Impact, because it's not entertaining. It's not hard. There's no Dark Souls to it. There's no Demon Souls. There's no boss hidden in the ocean that will just destroy your squad. None of that. Everything is super, super easy. So I'm not crazy about the game, and that's probably one of the bigger regrets that I have when it comes to video games. Like that was dumb, because I could have done a lot with that money. I could have bought a new car for as much as I spent on that. It was bad, man. It was bad. Gacha games tend to, I don't know why, but I just kind of like the idea of gacha games. I'm guessing sunk cost fallacy if I had to guess, but yeah, I would say Genshin Impact, spending money on characters just to find out that you can beat the entire game with the free characters they give you at the start. Yeah, that right there, that hurt. You know, because I thought, like, when it first came out, I thought that, you know, over time it would get harder and harder and harder. So I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and get a squad together that I would really like and that will last through the test of time. But it never got hard. There were people who didn't spend a dime beating essentially the Elite Four or the Abyss like it's nothing, you know what I mean? So I really just I wasn't really enjoying it. I didn't like that. And yes, I have one of the explodey arm chests from way back when. For some reason, I still use that on this set. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting one. I kind of always feel kind of bad when I think about Genshin Impact, because it was just money's not well spent. You know what I mean? At least if I'm gonna enjoy myself, I want to recoup some of my losses. Like, for example, if you look at any other hobby, right? And it doesn't really matter what hobby we're talking about. If you look at shooting, if you look at cars, if you look at I don't know, basketball, whatever hobby you look at, right? Welding, okay? So generally there is some type of return of profits. Now, will it be as equal as the amount of work you put in? Maybe, maybe not. However, there's usually something that you always recoup and you gain back, right? Genshin Impact or any of these other gacha games, especially the gacha games now, Genshin Impact, Diablo Immortal, I'm not picking on Genshin Impact, I'm just saying gacha games in general. I would say Genshin Impact is probably the most tame because you can beat it with any character. It's just that level of gacha game is probably some of the most I would say ungrateful hobbies that you can have. And I would say ungrateful as a person, not necessarily the company. The company is the company. I'm saying just ungrateful as in you get nothing back. So you spend all this time in it, but you get absolutely nothing back. You spend time in welding, you get product back. You spend time at basketball, you get good, and then you can cross over your friends and break ankles. You spend time with your car, and now you have a really nice car, and even though it's a depreciating asset, you now get more girls. You see what I'm saying? So everything has something that you get back. Genshin Impact is the only exception, plus Diablo Immortal or any other gacha game. They're the only exceptions where you get absolutely nothing back, except for the enjoyment of actually playing the game. You see what I'm saying? I just feel like that's not enough. I feel like I need to get something back in return. Therefore, I think that's probably one of the dumber purchases that I made. I just thought that, you know, it was going to get harder and harder and harder as because most Japanese games do, as the years progress, and that is not the case. They even told you, they were like, hey fam, look, this game is gonna be easy, it's gonna stay easy, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I still bought characters, so you can't blame them. This has nothing to do with a spiel about Genshin Impact, and not Genshin Impact specifically. It's me and the idea of creating the perfect team and wanting to try this character and this character and this character with no return on investment. So, all right, I'm back off my soapbox now.
History repeats itself.
We can get started with helping people. Gotta appease Jesus. So, give me 1 second here. Okay. All that being said, Diablo 4 has a nightmare dungeon that they wanted to talk about, and let's check it out.
Talk a bit about that. Yeah. So yeah, Joe, do you have anything you want to talk about for Nightmare Dungeons?
Yeah, so you know, Nightmare Dungeons are we're going to talk again. We're going to talk about beta feedback at the end of the show here, or near the end of the show. But Nightmare Dungeons are our key dungeon replayability system for the later part of the game, right? And you're going to get sigils, and Joe's going to talk a little bit about the sigils, but we're really excited for players to get to check out all of the cool ways that the dungeons can really be transformed by the Nightmare Dungeon system.
Yeah, so first up, Nightmare Dungeons, very, very exciting system. Players haven't had a chance to play these in our betas yet, but as they get into the end game content, start going through World Tiers 3 and 4, you'll begin to see, you'll gain access to some of your first sigils, which are primarily initially earned by completing Whispers of the Dead, one of our other overworld content features that players will be able to engage with. Now, sigils are really interesting in that they are tied to a level when you find them, which is going to affect the level of the monsters inside that space. They have various afflictions, which we've talked a little bit about in the streams in the past. These are going to modify the way that level rolls out. But Nightmare Sigils, when they are activated, after you collect one, is going to basically open up a portal near an existing side dungeon. And in the pre-release version of Diablo 4 and additional seasons, we basically select a subset of all of the side dungeons of the game that can become Nightmare Dungeons for that period. So players become more familiar with a set number of these because they know that they can be populated with these Nightmare Dungeon experiences. So you might already know, whether it's Annex Claim or whatever it is, what the layout of a given dungeon might look like normally. But Nightmare Sigil is going to change that by introducing these new afflictions and then also these greater afflictions. We showed earlier in the video, like this, right now actually, we're looking at this hell portal, a nightmare portal that can open up and basically spawn in all these monsters from other monster families that might not be native to that dungeon, which is pretty cool. In that we like the idea that players are going to have to kind of deal with these new different threats than what they're typically used to as part of that encounter. And there's a number of these other greater afflictions, like we showed the Stormbane's Wrath, that disc thing that was floating around around you, and occasionally it just pulses out this really big, stunning, damaging effect. So you have to be mindful of where it is, and make sure you avoid it as part of the combat experience. Definitely adds a new wrinkle to gameplay as you're going through. And we add more of these afflictions as the player continues to level up, and they get to go deeper and deeper into the Nightmare Sigil system, unlocking higher level sigils and dealing with more and more dangerous threats over the course of time. And this is a really great place.
How much?
Not only just to earn experience and really push your build and make sure that you're strong enough to tackle these sorts of challenges, but you'll also be able to. These are really great places to farm for sacred and ancestral items in particular. And these are the places that you're going to be upgrading your Paragon glyphs. We'll be talking more about the Paragon system right now. So, in that, this is an opportunity to show the actual upgrade glyph screen. I just noticed, hey, look, it's actually up right now. What timing? So, yeah, when the player reaches the end of a Nightmare Dungeon, they get to basically go ahead and take one of the glyphs they've been collecting over the course of their 50+ experience, and basically slot it into here and choose to upgrade it and make that glyph even more powerful. These sockables will go into your Paragon board and end up being some of the single most powerful modifiers you can apply to your character, above legendary powers, and even in some cases, even above some unique powers. So it's really in your benefit, based on your build, to be choosing, looking for a set number of these and upgrade them to exactly what you need them to do.
I'm sorry. It sounds like Diablo Immortal. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. It sounds like Diablo Immortal, which isn't a good thing.
Sigils that we're getting.
Oh, Riker.
Is that if you get some afflictions that you don't particularly care about, we have the ability to salvage some in order to craft sigils of our own, right? I think it's a 4-to-1 ratio. Is that right?
Yeah, just about. So you'll be able to get a lot of these different sigils by going through Nightmare Dungeons, completing Whispers, and through other content. And if you're finding sigils that you don't really want or don't really want to run, because maybe we're gonna have like enemies inside are gonna do additional lightning damage, but you don't have a lot of lightning resist on your build. Maybe you want to go ahead and like salvage that back at the Occultist, take that down to its sigil dust, and use that to basically make new random sigils for you to go ahead and run with. This is ways for players to kind of like, you know, push themselves a little further. They'll unlock higher level sigils they can craft through the system over the course of time. And it's another way to kind of like reutilize some of those sigils you might not be as interested in running from time to time.
You know, one thing I liked about the Afflictions was it was making me make choices during the gameplay. Like two that I can speak to, the Nightmare Gates that we were just showcasing. Let's say I'm in the middle of fighting an elite and I'm almost taking him down. I see that Nightmare portal opening and I'm like, okay, should I take care of that before it starts spawning more monsters, or do I finish this fight first? I'm forced to make a decision, and I gotta live with the consequences. If I think, you know, maybe I should take him down, and then no, the fight becomes more challenging, and nope, I should have taken care of that gate first. Another one is, I forget the name, but it's some kind of blood cyst that starts to grow, and then if you just don't touch it, it eventually explodes in a huge area.
Yeah.
And it's either, okay, destroy it before it does that, or get the heck away as fast as possible. Again, making choice, and it's like, okay, I think I thought I had time to get away, then I got crowd controlled, and then boom, one shot. So I like how it changes the dungeon experience depending on which of these afflictions that you get.
Yeah, absolutely. There's death counts in some of these as well. As time goes on, you get into the deeper ones. Where you gotta be careful. You can't choose to just throw yourselves at these things. And if you're making mistakes, you have to really evaluate carefully how you're progressing.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's true.
That's it? Okay, cool. That's all it was. I thought they were actually going to show the Nightmare Dungeon, but apparently, yeah, there's sigils and you can add afflictions to your dungeons, but we kind of already knew that, so they didn't really tell us a whole lot that we didn't already know. But yeah, there's basically ways to make it more difficult for the dungeons. We'll see how it plays out, you know, whenever it comes out in June. We will also probably do the beta, that way we have more video feeds to talk about. But without further ado, let's get to helping people. Oh, Clee. Okay, let me close that out and let's switch to it and let's get to it here. So, very first issue, audio stuttering when broadcasting and switching device. Okay, yeah, I remember this. We were talking about it. So basically, he was broadcasting at 480p. We told him to try a few things like connecting wires, things of that nature. And we also, he said he tried to do a few things, including reboots, but that didn't fix the issue. And so we told him to go to network and check his network speed and statistics and tell him what the settings are. So he's getting a download speed of 600 megabits per second, an upload of 33 megabits per second, MTU of 1480, and a latency of 70, which is okay. It's actually pretty good, actually. I'll also mention that a friend of mine has been checking out random Twitch streams while I was at work today, and he says he's noticed an identical stutter in other streams that are broadcasting directly from a Series X console. Well, that doesn't... Okay, my knee-jerk reaction to that is that doesn't necessarily prove, because not everybody's going to have the same internet company, provider, speed, so on and so forth. So that doesn't really tell us a whole lot. But, I mean... There's nothing that he currently has that would stop him. This man can go all the way up to like 17, 18, even 20 megabits per second, which is enough to, all the way up to probably even 2K, 4K, something like that. So, I mean, obviously those options aren't available on the Xbox, but he does have very good internet speed, and he said he is wired, and I did try rebooting the console and my other hardware, but the issue persists. So, what we'll try to do here, we have some latency is higher. By chance, do you have a spare Ethernet cable that you can swap out on the Xbox? What else do I want to say? A spare Ethernet cable. His network speed is good. I mean, everything seems like it's fine. It's just that for some reason he just has packet latency whenever he drops packet, or whenever he connects up. Now, could you say for him to bypass the router? Yeah, you can go ahead and try that just to make sure that the router isn't causing the issue. I don't really like doing that because you run into situations where customers have modem routers. Okay, I can explain. So if we, let's go here and we pick color and we switch out, right? All right, so let's talk about this. All right, so let's look at this situation, right? So he has a Xbox Series X, right? I want to be like, what's his name? Blue's Clues. So put an X right on it, where he be watching his pictures that he be drawing and they be excellent. He'd be like, oh my God, this man can draw. Okay, so this is your Xbox, right? And his is essentially connected into what is known as a router. Okay, the symbol for a router is this. Okay, so a lot of companies and a lot of customers typically have what's called a modem router. ODEM, right? So they have a modem / router. Okay, most people don't know it's a modem and a router. It's kind of like a combo thing where basically it has a cable core going into it, as well as provides router capabilities. So NAT and stuff like that. So 9 times out of 10, this may be the only device that they have. So if you tell them to bypass, they're not going to know what you're talking about. And they're not going to know how to do it. And you don't really want to run into that because it becomes kind of a pain. So could you say bypass the router? Yes. If I was working for a cable company right now, I would tell them to go ahead and bypass their router to see if it fixes the issue, if it's only a router. But if it's a modem router, you can't bypass it because you still have to have the modem. So that's the reason why I don't say it too much in this setting. But if we were in like a cable provider setting or a broadband provider setting, then yeah, I would say go ahead and bypass the router and hook directly up to the modem and see if it works. But we're not going to say that because it just becomes kind of a pain, because then you have to troubleshoot this and you don't want to do that. And plus it'll bring down this network whenever you bypass the router because you no longer have NAT. So the other devices won't be able to connect either. Okay, so that's the reason why I don't want to do it that way. But okay, so you don't want to get erased. Okay, that's fair. Okay, that's fine, whatever. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go back. So we'll close that out and minimize. And by chance, you have a spare Ethernet cable that you can swap out on the Xbox, as well as I haven't heard of others with this issue, but okay, I can't actually test this because if I stream to Twitch, it would be a straight up Twitch stream. Like I don't have a spare account that I can try out. I can create an account and then stream to that account in order to test this issue, but that would be kind of cumbersome and that would take a lot of work. And plus you can't do that while streaming another stream because, well, I guess I could, but it'd be kind of a pain. I haven't heard of others with this issue, but what happens if you stream to YouTube instead of Twitch? Is the packet loss the same? Packet loss / latency. That is a good counter. That is an excellent counter. That's almost a combo breaker. So in this kind of a situation here, when you got customers that have Xboxes, Nintendo Switches, whatever. Okay, okay, I went ahead of myself. Obviously not the Nintendo Switch, but if they have Xboxes or PlayStations and they want to stream, and they're streaming to Twitch or something like that, and they're getting 480p, we've already tried a wire connection. They have a wire connection. We've already tried reboots, and we already tested their network speed. They see 0 packet loss. They're wired connections. They have 500 meg down, and they have 33 meg up. So because they have 33 megabits per second up, that means that they can obviously handle 480p or 720p or even 1080p at 120 frames per second or whatever you want to do. They should be able to handle it, yet they're still having a problem. Then what you can look at is, because there's no latency, it's kind of hard to say that the Xbox Ethernet port is a problem, but it's a possibility that the Ethernet cable could be a problem. And the reason why I say that is because generally whenever you're doing speed tests, you're usually sending small packets. But when you are doing a stream, you're sending large packets because it's video data. So it's a possibility that you may still have latency, it just may not show up in a speed test, because a speed test is very, very small packets versus the speed test is like, I would say somewhere between 50 to 200 bytes worth of data. Like, it's not a lot versus something like a video or some type of video file. that is going to be much, much bigger. That's usually going to be somewhere between 600 to 1200 bytes. So you're going to be somewhere in that area where you're talking about a video file. So video files are typically always bigger. So the only real way to test this, we were just doing it just to get an idea of what he had. But the only real way for him to test this is to, one, go ahead and swap out the Ethernet cable, and two, connect to somebody other than Twitch. If you connect to somebody like YouTube and you still have the problem, now we can start going into that situation where, okay, maybe we should start looking at the Xbox. Maybe I should go ahead and try it on mine, see if I get the same problem, so on and so forth. Does that make sense? So that's what I would say for this one here, and that is a heck of a combo and a counter to troubleshooting this particular issue when you tried everything else. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go to the next person there. Charity, keep us posted. Okay, so... Alright, so this is another Nintendo, just a fun post. Looking for some short game suggestions for the Switch, like 1 to 5 hours. Ooh, that's a good question. Family with 2 kids, 9 to 5, and other responsibilities means I don't have a ton of time for gaming, and I found longer games don't work well for me right now. I might play 2 nights a week for 2 hours and then not play again for 2 months. When I come back, I'm totally lost. Try playing Ori and the Blind Forest, and Ori and something Wisp, Will-O-Wisp or something. But 3 hours in and a month break meant I spent more time trying to remember what was going on than making progress. I get that, because I had the exact same issue with Ori. I actually got all the way to almost the end. Like, I had, like, you have to go to different corners of the map or whatever, and I think I was on the 4th corner of the map, and I stopped playing. And now I have no idea how to play Ori anymore. So I definitely feel his pain. A few games I've played in the last few years that I've enjoyed: Box Boy and Box Girl, Donut Country, Rain on Your Parade, A Short Hike, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Panzer Dragoon, Hot Shot Racing, Ali Ali, Manifold Garden. Jesus. Well. Okay. This is my opinion of this, okay? And we're talking about Nintendo now, right? I feel like Luigi's Mansion 2 is in that ballpark, okay? Is it a 5 to 6 hour game if you sat there and played it? No. However, because it's separated by elevator floors, it makes it very, very easy to pick up where you left off, okay? Because it gives you, because you're not gonna go in and then automatically fight the boss. You have to fight all these other little monsters to get stronger and remember everything. You see what I'm saying? Like, sometimes they'll even tell you, like, hey, you need to press B. Hey, you need to shine the light first. Hey, you need to shine the light a couple of times in order to get them, and you have to go hunt them down, stuff like that. So it doesn't, if you compare it to Ori, right? Is Ori a faster game? Sure. However, Ori is so doggone complicated. Ori got like 40 moves. And, okay, he's not have 40. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. He has like 12, right? But Luigi has like 4, you know, and then, of course, the goo has a couple of moves, right? So between Luigi and the goo, you don't really have a whole lot of buttons to choose from. So he's very, very easy to pick up. Plus, it's separated by levels. Ori puts you right back smack dab in the middle of the game and just like, have fun. You don't know what you were doing previously. You don't know where you went to. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're looking for. And it's a very, very back and forth game. It sends you all over the place. So I get what he's saying when it comes to Ori, but I feel like Luigi's Mansion 2 would probably be something he would actually enjoy and would be okay in playing based on level. So, and plus it's something I don't think anybody would ever say. So let's go ahead and just add that and just let him know. Honestly, I feel as though, y'all don't want to see my face. I feel as though Luigi's Mansion 2 fits the bill, even though it's not a short game. Hear me out. Hear me out. See, Luigi's Mansion is separated by floors. Each floor is separated by floors. And Luigi himself doesn't have a ton of moves like Ori does. So you can essentially do a floor or two, come back and pick right back up, as you don't have to face a boss until the end of the floor. By then, you would have figured out what you need to do next. So yeah, that's what I feel about Luigi's Mansion. I feel like it really kind of fits the bill whenever we're choosing, you know, what we want to do, and you only have a couple hours to play a video game. You could also throw Overwatch in there, but that's not, it's not on the Nintendo Switch, I don't think. So, or just any shooter for that matter, doesn't have to be Overwatch. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. So this one is a repeat with the NVIDIA 1080 Ti drivers get hung up and crash anytime I open a game. So I said, well, first I would try and roll back on the drivers and so on and so forth. They said, I have tried using drivers from February and I have no overclock on my CPU. Okay, well, what about your memory? Is this overclocking your settings? What kind of CPU do you have? Also, could you try to reboot the device as well as a full uninstall, reinstall the graphics drivers? And I said, okay, I just went to safe mode and uninstall my drivers. Okay, cool. So this is, we were talking about this yesterday. DDU and trying to teach people DDU, it may not be ideal because if something goes wrong, you don't want to be held responsible. So he actually knew to actually go into safe mode to uninstall his drivers, so he probably knows about DDU. Went out of safe mode and made sure they were gone and reinstalled the GEEK experience and got the latest drivers again, but no change. I think my card may have finally given up. Possibly. The reason I asked for your CPU model is because you may have integrated graphics. You can try to bypass the GPU to see if the computer boots
My spirit is spent
when plugged into the motherboard. But be sure to look up the CPU first to see the specs. Yeah, at that point, you want to bypass. You know, if you have an extra graphics card, that's great. If not, and your CPU happens to be a CPU that supports integrated graphics, that would be a lot better. So if it's like Intel or 5600Gs or U's or whatever you want to call it, then, or anything in the 7 series. Any of those guys that actually support this, support integrated graphics, those are kind of the ways you want to go, because it'll pretty much tell you whether or not your graphics card has enough on life. Like my Zotac that I still remember and pray for his safety in the other life because it is totally dead here. Alrighty, sweet and freaks, keep us posted. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. So this is Mesquite and Resin Case air-cooled build success. Okay, you have our attention. All right, so see full image. Okay, so it's an open rig, very akin to the Proto XL, Proto L, Proto XL, something like that, but his is made out of wood instead of metal. Okay, fair enough. What other pictures do you have? Oh, okay. Just showing how it looks whenever it's open. That's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Especially because you made that out of wood and it's like cheaper. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like the little glass thing that he has going on there. That's pretty sweet. Huh. Okay. And that's a pretty nice size graphics card too. Not bad. I've slacked quite a bit on the updates for this build, but I am happy and relieved to say that the air-cooled portion of this build is done. Okay. Overall, I am absolutely content with the build. I learned a lot through this one and have several tweaks I'll implement into the final design for the next few I build. Sweet. You just saved yourself like $200. 200 bucks minus minus parts and labor, minus parts and labor. LOL. Congrats. Gotta let them know. Hey, that's still pretty sweet build, man. It probably only cost him like, you know, $20-$30. And you know, and if that exact case, the proto version is like 200. So hey, you know, gotta save a buck where you can save a buck. So hey, DP Goveride, congrats on your build, bro. Full times. Okay, so this is a repeat from the Sweden Freaks that we talked about earlier. He was just basically replying twice, and he said that he already removed the XMP profile, and he still has the problem. Okay, that's fair. All right, let's go ahead and go to group 2 here. Which one was I gonna do? apparently. Why not? Oh, I'm sorry, it's all text. Unpopular opinion, ROG branding is cringy and lame. Republic of Gamers gag, I'm an adult, and this is a premium product, really? For those who dare to dare what? Game first, work later, rolls eyes. Plus the loud color schemes and obnoxious repetition use of ROG all over everything. The brand is designed to solely attract entitled underage teenage boys as well off parents. I'll absolutely acknowledge their products are quality. The brand is such that I never consider buying anything they offer solely for personal pride. Well, you obviously haven't seen the ASUS XG17 AHPE, which is a portable monitor that runs at 1080p at 240 frames per second and can travel with you. So I'm just gonna assume you don't know what that is. That guy is awesome. I don't care what they put on it. They can color it purple. But to get what you get from this freaking monitor makes it so, also, it has a freaking battery. So it doesn't even need to drain the battery of whatever you hook it up to. 1080p, 240 hertz, 3.5 hours, and a 17.3-inch screen that can travel in a backpack. I am sorry. You can call it whatever you want to, sir. I don't care what color it is. It has nice size speakers. You can hear it just fine. And it is super expensive. It's not cheap. But at the same time, this product is so excellent. I don't care what you do with it. I think I almost rank them up there with Apple. Like they could sell a rock and they would probably make a profit. ASUS product quality is so good on some of their products, some of their higher end products like this guy, that it's very, very hard for people to say no to it. Like they'll just kind of deal with it. I don't care if it glows red. I don't care if it has like a tattoo. Like it's a bit much, sure. But what you get out of it, like some of these ROG laptops or ROG tablets or phones or monitors, like I can remove the stand and put it on a mount and you will never even know that it's ROG. You know what I mean? So there's so many different ways to get around it, even though it always is kind of obtuse and kind of annoying and always gets in your way. But for what you get on some of those products, man, look, I don't care what color it is. If you can give me 240 hertz in a hotel bedroom, hey, we friends. We go together. At that point, we are a couple. If I'm sitting here hitting 240 hertz in Overwatch in a hotel bedroom, Nah. You and me, we go together. I don't care what you do at that point. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what size you are. I don't care about your creed, your race. If you getting me 240 frames per second and you have your own battery and you don't even need battery powered and you just need one cable, nah, we a couple, man. We a pair. I am never getting rid of you. But back to his question. Where were we? Oh, it's the very first. No, it can't be. Where were we? Come on. Here. No. Oh, I actually clicked on this one. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, that's what I would say to it. They are kind of like Apple, where their product, well, okay, no, they're not kind of like Apple, because Apple's logo is very sleek and minimalistic, whereas ROG's is very in your face about it and obtuse. So I wouldn't even compare them to Apple. I would compare them to Alienware. That would probably be better. Yeah, they are definitely stuck in the Stone Age, where kids wanted to show off how cool their PC is. I would throw Alienware in the same boat with them. They have the wrong idea. Wrong idea. Adults want to now no, I'll do like this. Those kids are adults now, and they need more than one color. LOL. Yes, that's exactly what it is. You can't just have red, man. It has to be indigo or purple or rainbow. or teal or lavender. Like, it has to be different colors, man. You just can't be red all the time. That's the way I look at it. Like the that ROG monitor that glows and has a red ROG logo that shows in like your table, like your desk, because it has like a little light that protrudes a red logo for ROG. That's stupid. Now, if it can turn purple, that would be amazing. So that's how I feel about it. But let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Okay, that's good. Okay, so this is from Unable Secretary. This is a repeat. How can I fix this problem? I can't sign into PlayStation Network because I put my password in incorrectly. The thing is, I put the right password, yet it still tells me it's the wrong one. Alrighty, so for this one here, we would say that what happens if you try to log in from a web browser on a PC? Does it allow you to log in? I would say to try to log in there and change your password there first. Let us know if that doesn't work. It doesn't work. Well, what doesn't work? Well, what doesn't work? The password? The password recovery? Did it send you an email to recover the account on your PC? Because between those two, that's really your only options. Always get it. Okay, do I get somewhat annoyed when people give you short answers? Yes, I am human. I get kind of annoyed, and so I get kind of, okay, it's like, okay, here's what it is, right? When somebody is really short with you, it's almost like they feel as though you owe it to them to help. So my answers become a little bit more short with them as well. You know, I try not to match another person's energy, especially if it's negative. But this is almost, it's not negative. It's like you didn't even bother trying. You know what I mean? You didn't tell me what happened. You didn't tell me if you tried password recovery on the PC. You didn't tell me anything. You just said it doesn't work. You know what I mean? So you're not even trying at this point. So I'm not about to put a bunch of work in. I'm just going to tell you the conclusion. The conclusion is this. If you cannot log in and do a password recovery on the console, and if you cannot log in and do a password recovery on the browser, you're screwed. So that's the conclusion. If you want to know the conclusion, that is the conclusion. Because there's nothing else that you can do for there if you can't do a password recovery. You can try to contact Sony, but good luck with that. You see what I'm saying? So we might as well just go to the conclusion if they're not going to spend the time and tell us exactly what they did. And that's the conclusion, so just tell them the conclusion. So is it being short? Not really. It's just kind of skipping to the end instead of, you know, kind of walking them through to the end, you know, kind of ripping off the Band-Aid instead of pulling it off very nicely while smiling at them. But that's the conclusion. I mean, if you can't recover, man, it's over. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. All right, so this is from NoGov. NoGov says technical issues. Cool, I'm down with that. Let me actually start turning on gear. We haven't even turned on the PS5. I was letting the controller charge. Hold on. There we go. Everybody's up. So I use my PS5 controller on my laptop, and now it's paired to that. Okay, but when I plug it into the console using the cable I got with the PS5, it will not pair. Yeah, you have to repair it with the PS5. I would actually go and press the reset button on the back and see if that works. And what I'm referring to, a lot of people have seen this before, but essentially, let's actually just use the B camera. That way everybody can see it better. Let's do B close. So you see that little hole right there? That is the reset button for the PS5 controller. You can actually hold that down for about 10 to 15 seconds and then try to repair it with your PS5, and that should work. Okay, so there is a reset button on the back of the controller. Go ahead and hold that down for 10 to 15 seconds.
Good job, Exile.
And then plug the controller back into the PlayStation to see if that resolves the issue. Let us know how that goes. Yeah, I mean, that's all you really want to do there. You just want to go ahead and reset it and plug it back into your computer to make sure that it is able to pair properly. Alrighty, NoGov, keep us posted. And let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Oh, this is pretty. So this is the Meshlicious, and it appears that he went super liquid cool with this one here with orange as the color for the water loop. And that is awesome, but it's a little nerve-wracking because I don't want my motherboard to be orange if something were to happen, but it's still pretty sweet though. I ain't even gonna lie. I mean, this man got a lot going on here, and I'm guessing that is a very, very powerful graphics card. Where does he say his graphics card? Oh yeah, 7900 XTX. Yeah. So yeah, that's a pretty good boy. So he's only at 43 degrees Celsius on low. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is a very, very good build he has going on there. Congrats. Excellent. Temps, bro, or brodette, whatever. All right, let's go and go to the next one here, and let's go back into our text.
Good job, Exo.
Oh, it's not text. I totally did that wrong. Not the best, but it's my mod, and I love it. Okay, that's really cute. I'm not gonna lie. That's probably and it got Togepi. Hey, that's pretty sweet. You know what? I used to always wonder how Togepi had such high defense. I'm guessing because of the eggshell. But when it turned into Togekiss, it was like your defense went on steroids. I always liked Togepi, especially coming from like the original Pokemon where Misty had Togepi. And so you always kind of was a big fan of the person. I don't even know if that Togepi actually even evolved to Togetic. Or did I say it right? Yeah, Togetic. And then Togekiss. But you know, the Togetic, I don't know if it ever evolved like Misty's did. I think it probably evolved later on down the line. But I do like Togepi. And Cubone. Go figure. I would never use her in a battle, but I mean, I like her. Or him. I don't know if Togepi can be a boy. I think he can. Nice mod, bro. Digging the Togepi. Will you make a Marowak version? LOL. Yo, Marowak, it was the only Pokemon that came out with a backstory. You know, exactly what happened with his the skull on his head, and how it's his mom's that passed away, and why Cubone is considered the lonely Pokemon. So yeah, he was the only Pokemon that came out that had a true backstory. So I always liked that. I always enjoyed that Pokemon specifically because of his backstory. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. And this is all text. Ooh, fancy. I think this boss almost killed me. Oh no, I'm running out of time. Oh no, this is
Good job, Exile.
All right, so this is from CFC Jack. And CFC Jack writes, Xbox Series X, Xbox in general isn't displaying Netflix in 4K. Series X Xbox in general is displaying Netflix in 4K. Since a certain point, Netflix doesn't display in 4K. I have the 4K subscription and it displays 4K on all of the devices I have. Does anyone else have this issue or a fix? I've seen a few others have the same complaint. Similar to the other one with, he said he's seen other people with issues with streaming. He's going to be in the same ballpark where you're just going to say, you know, that may be true, but that doesn't actually prove anything. So if we go to the Xbox, all we're going to want him to do is go ahead and go to his system and his, I'm sorry, why do I keep saying system? I think PlayStation whenever I come to Xbox, but go to General Network and then run a test network speed and statistics and let us know what he gets, and then we would kind of go from there is what we would do. So go to your settings, network, and then test network speed and statistics, and let us know. It's possible. Oh, you know what? Also, if your Xbox is wireless, connect it wired to see if the issue goes away. Even if it's temporary. What I'm getting at is some people, and we run into this a lot, some people don't want to move their Xbox. They're like, nah, it's not near a router, and I don't have long enough Ethernet cable to get it to work. Okay, well, it's an Xbox. Pick it up and move it into a room where you have close connection to Ethernet. I understand that it's not going to stay there, but we're just trying to test to see exactly what's happening. And it could be that your Wi-Fi signal is weak and it's causing latency. Thus, it makes the Netflix buffer change from being in 4K to being in something else. Alrighty, so CFC Jack, keep us posted. Alright, let's go to the next one here. Group 3. I don't think, have we gotten any wins? I don't think we have any type of awards today. Today is just a 0 for some reason. I think it's because we don't have too many repeats. and that's kind of holding us back a little bit. But I think hopefully that we'll find one, whether it's a W or an assist, or maybe even a loss. This is from Lord Jiggle Pickle. That sounds very, very not good. Hard drive not working. It's a Seagate 8 terabyte. Jesus Christ. A Seagate 8 terabyte hard drive I have hooked up to an Xbox One S. Tried updating the Xbox and got a new USB micro B cord, but nothing's worked. Light is on and it's getting power, but the Xbox won't register it, and I'm not sure what to do. Any advice? Has the Xbox been able to register it before? I don't know if it can for an 8 terabyte hard drive. Has the Xbox been able to register it before? Try updating Xbox. Hooked to an Xbox, the light is going on. Yeah, has the Xbox been able to register it before? I mean, I know Windows PCs that have problems with 8 terabytes, and they try to split it or force you to split it and go RAID 0 and make 2 4 terabytes or something along those lines, even though it's only one drive. Has the Xbox been able to register it before? Or before? What port is it plugged into? This is a S. You know what? That's not a good question. Is it okay? The only reason why I was saying it was not a good question because I couldn't remember whether or not a USB port was in the back of the Xbox that he's referring to. But I'll just go ahead and say it. If he corrects me, he corrects me. I can live with that. Is it plugged into the front or the back? Whichever it is, swap it. Also, well, no, that's all you can do on this one here. Is you got to get the Xbox to basically realize that it's there, and if it's not, it could be the cable. Well, okay, let's go ahead and say that too. Also, could you try to replace the USB cable? So yeah, it could be cable in this particular situation. It could be the fact that it's plugged into a port that doesn't have enough power, so that's why you swap it to another one that's in the back, or if it's in the back, swap it to the front. And then see if it's ever worked, you know, because if it's never worked, then I don't really see a point. So you know, if it's never worked, then more than likely it just doesn't support an 8 terabyte drive. But it's better just to go ahead and test it and see than to try to look it up and see. That way, you know. So, Mr. Jiggle, keep it posted. All right, so this is for Cog Jams. USB overcurrent status. Asus B550M. Typically, you run into that overcurrent, overutilization of your USB ports on micro ATX and ITX motherboards. With a 5800X, worked fine for a year, but been battling this intermittent fault for a while now, but looks like it might be here to stay this week. Unplugged everything from the board except the bare minimum to no avail. Can't even get into BIOS as it locks out and shuts down after 15 minutes. Now pricing up new motherboards, but not really sure if this will sort it. Can anyone offer any advice? Thanks. Like might have stayed this week. Unplugged everything from the board. Intermittent fault for a while now. What intermittent fault? Oh, is it just USB overcurrent status? What intermittent fault? USB overcurrent status? If so, what happens if you plug your USB devices into a powered USB hub? Does it work then? Obviously, you plug your USB devices into a powered USB hub. Does it work then? And what exactly are you referring to? Now, pricing up the motherboard. Yeah, I can't really say for sure if it's the motherboard or what. You know, it could be the motherboard. Also, I would try to update the BIOS. I would try to update the BIOS. Let us know if this works. Yeah, you could also try to update the BIOS, which is a very fair point. Something that you can try to do to try to get it to work properly. So, all right. So this is from Asylum 200. Is there anyone at all know why connecting certain USB accessories causes all my USB ports to not power on till after I get to the Windows screen. Yeah, power. The same issue the other person had. I have an Asus ROG Crosshair 7 Hero motherboard, and for some reason, anytime I plug in the Corsair headset stand on the Corsair HS80, which is this guy, the one I'm using right now, headset dongle, none of my USB ports get power till I get to Windows lock screen. Now, unplugging those two, my USB ports get power at startup, which is pretty obvious. Well, what happens if you plug your Corsair headset into a front port? That's okay. Mine isn't set up that way, but that's the natural progression of his issue. But mine, for the front ports, I actually have the dongles for my wireless keyboard and mouse. But in his case here, he should probably go ahead and use it for the headset. If the headset is the one that's causing the problem. That's basically over-utilizing the power. Sounds as if you are over-utilizing power. Over-utilizing the power of the USB ports on the motherboard. And the reason why you want to go to a front port, because more than likely, if it's USB 3 front port, that's actually going to be going into a different header and not the ones that are connected to the motherboard on the back of it for the USB. Well, what happens if you plug the Corsair headset into a front port? It sounds as if you are overutilizing the power of the USB port on the motherboard. Yes. Alrighty, Asylum, keep us posted. Alright, so this is from Rockstar Player, and Rockstar Player writes, "Hey, what's up, homie? My PS4 Pro decided to take a dive off the deep end and could use some help. As of recently, my Wi-Fi has been acting up, but through the console itself, which is what I mean is, for example, I log on and it says the router restarted the PS4 and even tried using a hotspot, but still can't fix the issue. Anything helps at this point." Wi-Fi, but through the console itself, what I mean is, okay, it's Wi-Fi is having a problem. And I said, are you able to ping or plug in the PS4 Pro directly into your router with an Ethernet cable? I would try this and let us know the results. Also, when you go to settings network, do a network test, what do you get? I tried out running a direct connection and it makes no difference. Still only works a moment or so. I tried running connection tests and it all came back as it would normally. I think it would be the console itself rather than the internet, seeing as I never have connection issues on my Xbox, PC, etc. My PS4 Pro decided to take a nosedive, acting up, but through the console itself, what I mean is, for example, I log on, it says the router restarted the PS4, and even tried using a hotspot, but still can't fix the issue. So the issue is it's rebooting. Wi-Fi has been acting up. But through the console itself, what I mean, I log in and it says I'm online. A few minutes later, Wi-Fi starts to disconnect. Okay. Running a direct connection, it made no difference. Still only works in a moment or so. Okay, so you still have the problem even though you had it hooked directly. Okay, well if that's the case, then seeing as I never had issues with my PC console rather than internet. Okay. Well, what happens if you connect your Xbox to your phone? Do you have that ability? And what else do I want to say on that? As of recently, my Wi-Fi has been acting up, but through the console itself, what I mean is, for example, log on and it says I'm online, a few moments go by, and the Wi-Fi starts disconnecting and reconnecting. Yeah, so what this means, what I'm trying to prove with this statement, okay, well, what happens if you connect your Xbox to your phone? Do you have that ability? What I'm trying to establish here, is there a possibility that your internet service provider has something to do with this? You see what I'm saying? Maybe they're nerfing your speed or something like that. Now, you did say and mention that it did not have an issue on the Xbox, but it does on the PlayStation. So there could be some overlap there. But with this one here, that's probably going to be the best thing to say. You know, because I mean, you're already going console. So if you're already going console, I'll second your motion. How about that? Do you perchance still have this device under warranty? Yeah, so we'll go with that. You know, we'll see exactly what happens and have him let us know, Mr. Rockstar player. All right, next up here is Suju. My laptop won't boot. Okay, I'm down. Let's take a look. So, hello there. I was cleaning my Asus FX505 DT laptop, and in the process, something sparked. I didn't notice any problem at first, but now my laptop won't boot. What should I do? Well, where did the spark come from? If it's from the motherboard, then okay. Well, where did the spark come from? If you go to that location, you see a burn. Go to the location. Okay, so yeah, that's what I would say for this here, because if you saw a spark on your computer, that's a real bad sign. But it will manifest itself in a burn mark on the motherboard if we're talking about a motherboard issue. But if we're not, then we're just talking about a spark that may have happened, and it could have came from anywhere. It could have came from, you know, typically it just comes from a motherboard, but there's a possibility that it can come from other things like the graphics card or something. Internal graphics card. I is cleaning, blah, 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 blah. But where did the spark come from? If you go to the location, you learn. Okay, yeah. That's all we can pretty much say to this person here, because they are 100% having a hardware issue. So we can troubleshoot it to a certain point, but if it starts to get, you know, a little bit uncomfortable and they're wanting multiple RMAs, then that's kind of what we have to cut the line on that. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Group 4, let's do it. My normal background color is purple. Sweet, -2. But now everything is super purple. It's in all the menus and everything. Surprisingly, it goes away when I start up a game. But anyway, can y'all explain what's going on and how to fix it? Okay. Well, what happens if you change your background to something default? Does this resolve the issue? What happens if you change your background to something default? Does this resolve the issue? And it does give you another picture, or a good picture, because he changes inputs to other devices and that works just fine. What happens if you change your background to something default? Does this resolve the issue? Maybe we can go into the settings and see if there's a way that he can change it. That way we can kind of point him in the right direction. So we'll do it that way. So this is going to be under settings, screen and video, I think. Screen, no. So if you change your background, save data, captures a broadcast, accessibility, no, 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 no. System, background, set options, HDMI, storage, sound, accessories, controller, other, no, that's not it. Notifications. That's kind of weird. It should be somewhere around system, background. Okay, well, I know I got my background from somewhere and I haven't changed it in a very long time. Let's see. I know for some of these you can just go into your settings, but or you just install the actual background. Oh, maybe, okay, maybe it's from the save data. That would make sense. Okay, so if we go to storage, games and apps. Well, media gallery? No. That's just pictures of you doing cool stuff. Okay. Well, it's somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure where it is off the top of my head. We'll just try it a different way. Let's see. Change, because it's gonna take too long. Change background on PS5. I just don't do it all that often. You said it once. You never look at it again. Select the profile option to have the ability to your profile page. Now on the right hand side, you can okay, so that's the reason why. I can't go into my profile. If I do, then it gives some very compromising information. So let's not. So instead, press the button on your controller, go to profile, blah 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 blah. You can now browse through various images and screenshots saved to your PS5. Okay. So yeah, that's essentially what we would do there. You would want to go ahead and try to change it to something else and something else to default, and then change it back into that. Because it could just be kind of like a glitch or a bug or a glitch in the matrix. All right, let's go ahead and go to your deck in here. Oh, it's a video too. Oh, we love videos. RIP Steam Deck 2022, 2023. Okay. Apparently your Steam Deck got drop kicked. Hold on, let's try again. It looks like it's okay though. I don't know about y'all, but I think it's all right. Drop kick from the top rope by the kitty. By the kitty. Good form. It was super effective. It was super effective. Yeah, that's unfortunate, especially when he just dropped, like it wasn't even moving and like it just got drop kicked for no reason. That's when you get smacked and you don't even know why. Yeah, I like his 512 gig RMA your cat. For sure. For sure. That cat would never come back if he destroyed my Steam Deck. All right, let's go from Royal, I don't know, can't connect Xbox One S controller to gaming PC. So we worked this issue a little bit. We had him do a few different things. And I said, no problem, let us know if you have any technical issues in the future, blah, 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 blah. I think he said a reboot fixed it. Oh no, he changed out the USB cable, which was a win, but this was a win yesterday. So he just replied with, okay, thanks. So this guy is over. All right, let's go and go to the next one here. Alrighty, so this is from Holiday Situation. Laptop fans loud buzzing. Hello. Oh, I'm sorry. It's all alrighty, hello. So I had an old laptop fan that were making a loud buzzing noise, and I took it to a repair shop and they told me that the fans needed changing, but I changed the fans and the buzzing noise persisted and now it keeps getting louder. Any idea how to fix this, or what might be crashing or causing it? Now, if it's spinning up and it's really, really loud, then it could just be a loud decimal fan. It's possible. Fans themselves are a loud decimal. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell decimal. I had to think about it for a second. Old laptop fans were making a loud buzzing noise, and I took it to a repair shop. Okay, but you still hear the loud buzzing noise. Oh. It could be from the fan that is covering your motherboard components. Motherboard components slash chipset. You see this a lot with I want to just say 3930K, but it's not really a 3930K. It's the ASRock X79 board that went with the 3930K. It actually has a fan covering some of the capacitors on the motherboard, and the fan is actually louder than the other fans in the case. because fans, when they're spinning at a particular RPM, you're always going to hear whichever one is the loudest. It doesn't matter if the other ones are actually loud too, but the loudest is the only one that you hear. So that's when you run into those situations, and that's how you would, but I'm thinking that you maybe have a third fan, like a third eye. The fan that is covering your motherboard component / chipset. More than likely, that may be the culprit, or the power supply fan. Power supply fan, but you should open it up to verify, but you should open it up. All right, yeah, that's essentially what you want to do. You want to kind of open up the case just to verify that the sound is coming from where I think it's coming from, which sounds like it's going to be the chipset that's actually loud. That's typically the ones I've been replacing as well, is the ones that are loud and they're having problems, and the fans themselves. Well, okay, to be fair, the chipset fan, if there is a chipset fan that's covering it, can't actually be replaced. Sometimes you may be able to find something that replace it, but it's kind of hard to do. So it may be one of those situations where you just have to unhook it and pray for the best, you know, just basically remove the top of it and just let the motherboard hang. And for those of you who are wondering what I'm talking about, is the ASRock X79. That guy is louder than a lot of the fans in cases. And this fan is on all versions. This isn't the exact motherboard I was thinking of, but they all use the exact same fan, which is this guy. And this guy has a tendency of getting louder than the other fans in the case, and it may be the only person that you can hear. But all you need to do is open up your case and then just go to the device that's making the most noise. That way you know which one you're talking about. Alrighty, we did the purple guy, we did that guy with the key, and this guy didn't even have a question, but you should open it up to verify where the sound is coming from. Where the sound is coming from. There we go. So yeah, holiday, that's what I would think on this one here, but keep us posted. I need to set a date. Me personally, this is my theory, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go to review. I pressed the wrong button. All right, so this is what I want to do, right? I need to set a date on when I want to start taking calls. We need to get to this point. I just set up my other Steam Deck, so now I can add more games, and I now want to start taking calls, but I'm gonna need a couple days off in order to get this all set up, just to make sure that everything works and everybody's at a good quality and decibel level. And I don't know if I want to do video calls or regular calls, right? Obviously, video calls would be more ideal. That way we can troubleshoot it by scene. However, when you're doing video calls, I worry that customers that we are helping may show information they didn't mean to show, and that is what worries me the most, which is why I've been so careful to make sure that, you know, that we do all of our ducks in the order. Every time I make an update, I do it before the stream to make sure everything is working before we actually run into a problem on the actual live stream. So we are very, very meticulous about how we do it. So I may start with just regular audio calls first, see what happens, and then jump to video calls, and maybe like, you know, give it a minute and let them know, hey, you know, if you have anything that is incriminating or any kind of documentation or anything about your address or your name or your phone number, please do not have that on your laptop itself, so we can kind of take a look at your issue. It may be one of those things, and just kind of let them know and give them some time to remove a few things so that we don't see it. You know, obviously we're not going to be going through their documents, but we may look at their control panel, we may look at their network and internet, we may look at their event viewer, things of that nature. Okay, with all that being said, though, I want to either next week or the week after. Let's just call it what it is, because I've been saying it for a while now and nothing has happened. But I think I'll have some time over this weekend, because this is Thursday, obviously. So this is our last day of streaming, and we'll come back and do it on Monday. So hopefully this weekend I can start getting things set up. I've been going back and forth between which system I want to use, but we'll go ahead and get that started. That way, you know, we can see how that goes. May go good, may go bad, but I think it will really help a lot of people, because I think it can expedite us troubleshooting and helping more people. Some people just want to call. Some people don't want to sit on the chat or the stream, you know, 24/7. They may just want to call and chat, you know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes and then kind of go from there. Alrighty, and I think we were on our final group here. Okay, cool. Group 5. And let's do it.
Long day.
All right, so this is swimming through a daze. Oh, okay. This is the guy with the Dell G15 5511 that was trying to find the CMOS battery because he's already tried a lot of different things to fix his black screen. We've been going back and forth, and basically we said, gotcha, keep us posted if you have any further questions. He said he RMA'd his RAM essentially. And basically let us know if you have any questions. We're going to live stream named The Open Forum where we troubleshoot issues like this. So if you have a problem, feel free to reach out. Cool, thanks, Maine. Is the live stream here on Reddit? You can stream to Reddit? Hold on. I didn't know you can live stream to Reddit. Can you live stream to Reddit? That would be, oh my God. Anyone can start a broadcast which will use the rear-facing camera by default and incentivize for Redditors to show the moments they're in rather than going straight into selfie mode. Reddit now lets you live stream? When did this happen? Oh, in 2019. So a long time ago. I'm just a little bit behind. I didn't know that you can live stream to Reddit. Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up. I didn't know that was a thing. But if it is, I mean, we stream to kick.com. I mean, so we stream everywhere. So yeah, if there's a way that I can get that set up, then I'll definitely add it. But as of right now, we don't. But let's go ahead and answer this question. It's on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Kick, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Kick, and Twitter. I believe. Leave, LOL. Soon to be TikTok. Soon to be TikTok. The YouTube. Soon to be TikTok as well. The YouTube name and Twitch name is the same, which is the TheOpenForum. They all used to be the same until, you know, the whole Facebook hack happened, and then I lost my Instagram account, and now they're all different. But the YouTube and Twitch has always been the same. Alrighty, swimming through our days. Keep us posted. Alrighty, so this is the name is I Have Butt. I Have Butt says Bluetooth issues. My Bluetooth used to work fine, but now it is extremely choppy. And if I step even a foot back, it disconnects. I have uninstalled and reinstalled the drivers. I'm not sure if I should try disabling things. No. Please don't disable those. Those Bluetooth device, Intel Wireless Bluetooth, Microsoft Bluetooth Enumerator, and Microsoft Bluetooth LE Enumerator. Not sure if they conflict with each other in any way. Nah. However, you can try to go to Start, Windows Update. I'll show you here in a second. Windows Update, Advanced, Windows Update, okay. Maybe I will just go there. What version of Windows are they on? It added, I'm not worried about it, it don't matter. So let's go, we'll do Windows 11 then. Start, Update. Check for update. Windows Update, there you go. Okay, so you want to go to Advanced Options and Optional Updates. Advanced Options, Optional Updates. Here, you can actually get Bluetooth updates. It doesn't, I don't know if it looks this way on Windows 10. Here, let's swap to Windows 10 real quick, because Windows 10, I feel like it is actually different, because I don't feel like that's exactly what we said last time. Windows Update Settings. And yeah, View Optional Update. Okay, so it says View Optional Update versus Windows 11, where it's Advanced Option View Optional Updates. Okay, that's what's throwing me. Okay. So View Optional Updates, essentially what it is. Okay. So apparently there's two different locations for that, depending on which version of Windows you're running. But that's fine. We'll just say Windows Update Advanced Options. And check for optional updates.
Let's go.
There may be a Bluetooth update you can upgrade to see if that works. Also, is your Bluetooth coming from the motherboard, or do you have a Bluetooth dongle? If it's from the motherboard is there an
Good
antenna
job, Exile.
plugged in? It's amazing how much of a signal loss and degradation of quality you have whenever you remove that antenna on the back of your Wi-Fi. As soon as you remove it, your signal drops tremendously, and it essentially gives you the exact issue that she's currently having. So we just want to make sure that they do have the antenna going into it. It may be that it's loose or it needs to be screwed back in, but you can at least check. So that's what I would say here, Mr. Butt, or I have butt, and let us know how that goes. Alrighty, so this is going to be from Discord mod Memento. DMM says, Windows and phone are connected to the same Wi-Fi. It can access messages and everything, but can't access apps on my phone screen because they aren't connected to the same Wi-Fi. He's actually talking about an application that he's running. And I said, okay, are there any updates for the application itself? When did it start? What happens if you uninstall the application and reinstall? Does it make a difference? Also, be sure to reboot your PC. No updates. It's been a problem ever since I used it a week ago, but don't have the ability to uninstall and reinstall. Maybe rebooting my PC will work, but I don't know. Okay. Okay. Well, try reboot, but why don't you have the ability to uninstall? Is this a company PC? Okay, the reason why we want to know this is because a lot of times on company PCs, they have restrictions on the things that you can do and download. Because unless you're in tech, then there's no reason for you to have administrative privileges as an employee because you're not in that field. You see what I'm saying? So it may be that he can't actually uninstall because it doesn't allow him to uninstall any programs because of his group policy. So it could be something along those lines. That's the reason why I'm asking. But instead of saying, hey, do you have group policy or is your computer a part of a domain? Instead of asking those questions that nobody knows what the hell I'm talking about, it's better to say, hey, is this your company's laptop? Because if it's your company's laptop, they already have group policy. There's no company that is a higher end company that gives customers laptops, or I'm sorry, it gives employees laptop that doesn't have a domain. Whether it's Windows or Linux or whatever, it's up for debate. But if it's a company that gives you a laptop, they most definitely have a domain. Alrighty, so DMM, keep us posted. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. All right, so this is from Symmetra. Oh yeah, this is a repeat. So Symmetra was saying that their headset recognized audio, but mic doesn't work. And I said, sure, what kind of device is it connected to? Also, what model headset are you referring to? Trying to use it with a Dell laptop. I'm pretty sure the headset is a Jabra Evolve 80. Hold on, I think I have that. Jabra Evolve 80? This is my Jabra. No. I don't think this is the Evolve though. I think this one is. No, I don't think so. Okay, let's see real quick. Because I need to see which one it is because I'm pretty comfortable with Jabra too. Jabra Evolve 80. Okay, so the one I was thinking of that I have is the Evolve 75. They have the 80, which is like a stereo headset. Okay, so I was 5 off. Alrighty, so, oh God, what's happening? Okay, I just wanted to click on the picture, bro. Let's relax a little bit here. Oh my God, please stop trying to sell me. I just wanted to see what it looked like. Okay, so it's an Evolve headset. Okay, gotcha. Well, Jabra has software, so let's go ahead and go back to them. And we already did that one. Okay, so it's a Dell laptop. Is this a work PC? Typically, people who have a Dell laptop and a Jabra Evolve 80 may actually have a work PC, and so we should at least ask just to be on the safe side. Is this a work PC? Because similar to the previous customer, having a domain can have restrictions and can maybe cause some problems there. Is this a work PC? I'm pretty sure the headset is a Jabra Evolve 80. Also, Jabra has software for that headset. Go ahead and download the most up-to-date version to see if that resolves the issue. It has all kinds of updates. Like Jabra has updates that allows your headset mute. Like if you look at mine, you see how it's red and then this right here and this right here when it goes back up. If I was actually in a chat, this will go away. So basically it can make it so that whenever I bring it up, down and up, it will auto mute. And that is on any platform, regardless if it's Teams or if it's Zoom or if it's WebEx or Skype, it doesn't matter. It will apply to all of them. So they have very, very good software for a lot of their corporate products. It's so good, I actually ended up purchasing for my entire team whenever I first started going into the engineering field. So yeah, I'm very familiar with Jabra. Their software, it can be buggy at times, but usually it hits more than it misses. Alrighty, so Symmetric, keep us posted. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Okay, AirPods Pros sound like an airplane. So AirPods Pros, right? AirPods Pros sound like an airplane. I've had my AirPod Pros, which is the previous version, which is exactly this one here. So the AirPods Pros, the original one, is the one that doesn't have the loop on it. So these are the AirPods Pro. This is what he's talking about. I believe they are the first generation of Pros, correct. Recently, I've been having an odd problem with the left bud. Right when I put it in my ear, with both transparency or noise cancellation, I'll get 1 second interval bursts of airplane noises. Sometimes it'll burst 5 times, sometimes just once or twice. I've already had them replaced because of a crackling noise, but that replacement was free. Is anyone having this issue or know how to fix it? It's getting really annoying. Okay, well that sounds more like a connectivity issue or water damage. Well, that sounds like a connectivity issue or water damage. What happens when you pair it with a different device? For example, if it's on the iPhone, try the iPad/MacBook. Try the iPad or MacBook, etc. So what we're trying to do is, if it's truly the AirPods, then it will give you this issue regardless of which device you connect to, because on Macs, it will always keep the settings. So whatever settings that you have set for the iPhone is going to be the exact same settings for your MacBook or your MacBook Pro or your Mac Mini or whatever you're using, as well as your iPad, iPad Pro, iPad Mini, or whatever you're using. And they're going to keep those same settings throughout. So pair it to another device. If you pair it to another device and you still hear that crackling, then more than likely you're going to be having an issue with the headset, and there's not a whole lot more you can do on that. That just may end up being an RMA. Alrighty, and that is going to be our last question for today. A little short than normal, but I think it's okay. I think we'll live with it. We did answer everybody who had an issue. You know what we can do? What time is it? Oh, okay, it's not that bad. What we can do is let's do a refresh and we'll just go ahead and close our eyes and just randomly pick stuff. That sounds challenging. I want a challenge. So let's do this here. I was thinking about doing something like this called rapid fire, where essentially I just randomly pick stuff. So let's just do one refresh here and we'll just go down the list. All right. So we'll just, okay, so whenever I do a refresh on my homepage, it shows me everything. So it could be any type of issue. It can be any type of technical issue. It can be malware. Apparently I have a couple malwares. So we'll do these 3, okay? So these are our rapid fire questions. So the first one is 2,400 gigabytes were used on my home internet. Jesus Christ. Okay, starting off with the banger. I was checking my internet usage for the month. It shows on one day over 1,400 gigs were downloaded, and for the month, 2,400 gigs were downloaded. That is 2.4 terabytes. This is very excessive since 2 people used to play games heavily a year ago, and the max amount of internet usage was 500 to 700 gigs. Now I am the only one who uses the internet, and there is hardly any heavy usage. I just watch YouTube sometimes, but I usually just use my phone internet. I've tried erasing devices connected and resetting the router because it's just me, and the previously connected devices were from visitors. I did this because November I noticed 700 gigs were being used a month when it has just been me for the past year. Like I said previously, a year ago, 2 Xboxes were connected and used a lot, and Netflix was used as well, and the most internet used was 700 gigs. Nothing more. After my brother left, I was only using 200 gigs a month or less. Now that I've been alone, I have seen abnormal amounts of internet use. 1 month is 200 gigs, another month is 2,400 gigs. I have not changed the way I use the internet within the last year, though through March I was not home for a week, as well as this is the 2,400 gig month. He has an image too. Okay, so it just shows it. We'll do that so everybody can see. Okay, allowance unlimited, and he's showing that he was at 2,400 gigs. It's total data, download data. So okay, this is AT&T Fiber. It doesn't show the IPs of the data that's using it because it's from AT&T's perspective. AT&T only sees it from the public IP address, so it can't tell you the individual private IPs are actually sending this traffic because it doesn't know. So in order for you to see that, you would actually have to look at it from your router's perspective, because it would be the one that would know the IPs that were actually trying to send this traffic. But most routers don't have this kind of data, and they usually don't keep the data for a month. So it's a little bit difficult for some of the residential devices to actually show this kind of data, but commercial, you see this all the time. All right, let's go ahead and go back here. All right, so should I be concerned? Well, the first thing I was thinking of, y'all want to know my first opinion when I was reading this, I was thinking torrenting. I was thinking that you had so many people coming in and out, it's a possibility that they may have torrenting software, and they may have downloaded a few things which made it go to 2.4 gigs or 2,400 gigs. And if you don't stop it, then it will continuously peer and let other people download from you, which would be the increase. So I'm thinking he may have some type of torrent that's running it and he doesn't know about. Well, the first thing that came to mind, since there have been other people in your home, is torrenting. With torrents, if you don't turn them off by stopping them, they will continue to allow people to peer with you and download them. I would check every PC in your home for torrenting software, like oh, my mind just was like, what? Anthony, come on now. BitTorrent. Software like BitTorrent. Yeah, like BitTorrent. So that's typically, okay. Well, I will explain it a little bit, right? So between the residential and the commercial can actually tell you which IP address it actually came from and which one was sending the most traffic. It actually even sorted depending on what kind of software you use. But on the residential side, it's very hard to actually get that kind of data, because that kind of data is data that is looking at traffic and showing you graphical representation of the traffic. But what you can do from the residential side is it will show you every single device that is connected to your network. It will show you the IPs that it has given out, because that is something that is very, very simple for it to do. So you can look at the IPs on your network and look at the devices that it's given to and make sure they are all correct, because somebody may be actually using your internet and they may be the ones that are responsible for that extra data. We should probably tell them that. We should probably add it to the video. Also, on your router, under the DHCP, check to see the IPs that are currently connected to your router and verify it's correct. It's possible someone nearby is using your internet as well. Yeah, that's how you would troubleshoot that one from a residential standpoint. Alrighty, next random issue. Okay, that was a good one. Okay, so this one here, back on malware. I don't know why malware. I think malware actually ends up with more questions than the others, but I mean, we'll take what we get. Harmful extension that I might need a way to get rid of. Hi, there is an extension called Apps. Okay, that's been installed without my consent on my Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge browsers. I've been searching Google on my phone for hours at this point, and none of the methods I came across seem to work. I've already gotten to the point where I was able to deactivate the extension by going to Google Chrome browser, but when I try to click and remove when I navigate to the extensions page, nothing happens. I've also installed Malwarebytes. If that's helpful information, please help. I just want to use my computer in peace again. What? I thought you said it was on your phone. Let me make sure I read that right. Okay, on my PC, I've already got to the point where I was able to... Okay. Alrighty. So what happens if you go to Start, Control Panel, Start Control Panel, uninstall a program. Check the programs listed to see if it's there. Start Control Panel, Program Features, Program, uninstall a program, check the program list to see if it's there. Let us know if this works. Let us know let us know how this goes. Okay, so what I'm talking about, for those of you who are curious, is we'll do Windows 10 because we did Windows 11 last time. All right, so on Windows 10, this one. All right, so all I'm referring to is going to Start and then Control Panel. And then for programs, uninstall a program, right? That's for Windows 10, but on Windows 11, it won't show it that way. So if we go to Windows 11 and we go, sorry, let me open it up real quick, close that out. Click on here and then go to Control Panel. Alrighty, so, oh, I'm sorry, it is programs. Okay, so maybe I was tripping. If I change it to small icons, is that where it said program and features? Yeah, program and features. Okay, so I'm not tripping. It is programs and feature. But it's only if you're in small icon, but if you're in categories, it's programs. Okay, that's what I was referring to. But in there, you would try to see if the program is there so that you can uninstall. So let's let him know, just in case he has Windows, or just in case he's in the category view. Right here. So edit this real quick. Program features / programs. Okay, so that's essentially what we do for that. You would try to check your application to see if it's there, because it sounds like you may have downloaded an application and not necessarily an extension, because it's still there. It may be more than an extension is what I'm getting at. I think like there are programs that also have extensions associated with them. Case in point, NordVPN and NordPass. Those are applications that are on your computer but also have an extension that you can add to your browser. So it may be one of those kind of things where it's also an application and an extension, and that's the reason why it's not uninstalling properly. But I would just check that just to be on the safe side and then kind of go from there. Also, what happens if you run it in incognito mode? That's a good question. I should have asked that. Also, what happens if you open your browser in private incognito mode? Yeah. So if you run it in incognito mode, all of your extensions are disabled. So I'm kind of curious to see if it goes away. Alrighty, and our last random issue is malware again. Possible botnet infection. Okay, my brother's computer may be infected with a botnet. There were strange videos in his watch history that are extremely obscure and in different languages. He said he has also noticed a strange amount of RAM usage. He says he hasn't gotten any emails about a Google sign-in recently too. Okay, so a botnet is essentially a network bot that does something malicious to your computer. But what we can do for this one here is we would just have him download Malwarebytes and check and make sure that he has it scan his PC and then go from there. Well, for starters, you can download Malwarebytes, and have it scan your PC for malicious data, or I'm sorry, malicious, I don't say malware. Scan your PC for malware. Have it scan your PC for malware. You download Malwarebytes and have it scan your PC for malware. What am I gonna say? There were strange videos in his watch history. Have it scan all drives and then go from there. Okay, yeah, we'll just go with that. I was kind of thinking, so you know, if we're talking about like the video file, and he may have some files that were in there that he didn't create, that were just random files or something like that, then it's possible that he may have some type of what is it called? Keylogger. Whew, boy, my mind, I had to remember. I've been doing residential for too long. I had to switch to commercial. Keylogger. So it's possible that he may have some type of a keylogger that may be entering in his information and then sending it elsewhere. This is also another feature of the bot. And basically, it's taking your keystrokes, it may be saving it to a file and then uploading it to a server, which also worries me. But in either case, whether it's a keylogger or it turns out to be some type of malware or a botnet or something malicious, you would still run Malwarebytes and then just kind of go from there. Also, I would go to Start, Windows Defender, and have it check as well. Windows Defender tends to be a little bit more aggressive than Malwarebytes when we're talking about actual files. So let Windows Defender check everything to make sure everything is good, as well as Malwarebytes, and then go from there. And if anybody wants to know what I'm talking about, well, we'll go back to Windows 11, and it's just Windows Defender, Windows Defender Firewall. Oh, I'm sorry, I clicked on it as if here. So basically Windows Defender Firewall and your settings. Mine are turned off because they tend to interfere with things like Steam and stuff like that. And I have other means of firewall protection, especially for computers that I don't use for anything malicious. They don't even go anywhere. They just go to Steam and play video games. Alrighty. So, and that is our last rapid fire question. We may actually turn this into a thing. You know what I mean? Because it's random. Y'all can see me just refresh the screen and just pick the first three. And I think that is really, really cool. It's just that I tend to pick ones that nobody else has picked. So there's never been a time where we've gotten the easiest. We've always gotten the hardest one because we will pick all the ones that say 0, and then we'll work back to conclusion. So we've never gotten an easy. So I would say the rapid fire is kind of nice because we can just refresh in between malware and software and hardware and everything else that we're joined to. We'll be able to find 3 issues that we can troubleshoot. It could just be any 3 issues. And that way, you know, we get some randomness to it, because a lot of times we may get the harder issues, but those harder issues tend to be, you know, blue screen of death, hard drive failure, PC failure, fan failure, AIO failure, those kind of things. So it kind of pigeonholes us into a particular technology, even though we can switch between PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, Windows 10, Windows 11, NVIDIA, AMD graphics cards. We can switch like nothing. But a lot of our issues always stem from something with failure. And I think by going random, it gives us a chance of doing things like this, where we didn't even get a malware issue because most of the malware issues already had answers. So I think that we may have to go ahead and incorporate some randomness to it. That way we can just pick random stuff and just troubleshoot it just for fun. But without further ado, if you like this video, go ahead and like button. If you really like it, go ahead and subscribe. I love you either way. Take care, all the best, and bye. I will see you on Monday. You guys take care and have a good one. Peace.